Okay, just a recap of what we did last week. I think we talked about the epics, and you say epics is high level things that's able to break down this. An epic user story is a large that cannot be delivered as defined with a single iterations, or is larger enough that it cannot be split into smaller user stories. And that user stories of that epic is the smallest unit of work in Agile framework, okay, that can be broken into little things. I mean, we speak bit by bit, the chunks of codes, like picking all these things together. What you have your UI base is what is called the epic itself. I mean, the user stories. So combination of all these things is a big epic. An epic is a large work items broken down into a set of stories. Okay, so we able to bring as well what we are embarking on called the credit card online banking application. Your user can able to log in their username and password, are able to see their account, and all these things are big epic. So breaking them down in little iterations, that is what is called the user story. You cannot articulate all these things in just one day, in one particular sprint. Okay, 2 weeks of sprint, we have to start building up all these things. So that is what the user story is. Let me see this. I think I have this here. And as I said, this is not recommend. This is not mandatory. It's not. It's recommended that you know about how software development happen in your own industry. So this everything we are doing right here, the agile scrum board, this is the work of the product owner, not your own job description. So, but it's good for you to know a fair bit about all these things, how it's being done in your industry. So when you are in the meeting, in making all these terminologies, what is stories, what is user stories, what are epic, what are fixed period, what are sprints, when this particular backlog, product backlog. So you know, understand all these things, how you pick out your tasks, sub-tasks. Okay, so this is just practical scenario what we're trying to do. So this is our own application we want to build. Just a picture of it, not really clear right here. This is what we want to build, and we said picking up all this is what we call the user stories, and we able to download a Jira, which is a Scrum board, how it looks like. And we talked about backlog, and this is our credit card online application we're trying to build. And we talked about Epic. I would say Epic is large enough. And we created an Epic. I think last week we created Epic. Everyone, I think we created, I think I've showed you how Epic looks like, right?
Yeah, you showed us how epic look like. Yeah.
Okay, I think I deleted this thing. Okay, let me quickly create it so you can understand. So I told you that issue type can be when you go to your Scrum board, this is your project right here. This is a credit card online banking app. This is a project for us. And I told you how to go about your software development, Scrum, software development. We're not using Kanban. We have two methodologies. We have Kanban, we have Scrum. So Scrum is mostly 90% of industry use Scrum methodology. So your manager will ask you that what application are we embarking on? You ask, are we going to use a Scrum style or a Kanban style? So Agile come with this different methodology, which is Scrum and Kanban. So right here, we are dealing with Kanban. Okay, we're doing with Scrum style. So our project for in front of us is the credit card online banking application project. That's what we're backing on, right? We're banking on this project, how to build up a project whereby user is able to log in their username and password and able to log into this page and check their account balances, and you see the header page, and all this is a big epic for us. So this is a project in front of us, which is given us by the business people. All right. With their features, I noticed about big epic I explained to you last week is how to develop the login module. We have to develop this login module, and this is login module. And again, the credit card dashboard, how it will look like. Okay, we come to that. There's another epic for us. And the profile comes with the header page where you have your edit name, your addresses and age, and you can change your address and all those things when it comes to progress. So those are all big epic for us. So I'm breaking it down right now. So we'll take the first one with the first module for us. The first feature for us is develop the login module. This is the login module, which is how the what comprises of the login module, the UI base, the user interface, what you can see, the first page, right? You have to enter username and password, then for you to be able to log in. So these are all these features. Tells you what is in the UI. Okay, all this is what in the features. We have the the footer page, we have the footer links, we have the drop down. So this all comprises of the UI, which is the first thing you see before you log in. So all this comprises of a very big epic. We cannot deliver this in iteration within 2 weeks. We can't build all these things because all these things we have to say connect to the database. We still have to do the database connectivity. We have to log into this page. We have to build this um, the username and password. So it's a very huge task. It's a mundane task for us. So we have to break it down in bits. So in this sprint, this one will go. In this sprint, this one will go. So all these are stories. So what we do is that you go to our Jira page and we're able to like start breathing all these things. First, you have to create an epic. What is the epic you create? When you go to your dashboard, you go to create epic. Okay. And our project for us is a credit card online banking. And issue, I told you, issue can be anything. Issue can be subtax, issue can be story, issue can be bug, issue can be epic. Issue in Jira can be anything, which is tax, which can be related to anything. So here we are trying to create an epic for us. And what is the epic in front of us? We say this is to do, the status is to do. We have to do in progress and done. Okay, this is stages of how Scrum processes is being done in your Scrum board. Okay, everything have to be in to-do list. You are still working on it. When you are working on it, it turns to progress. Then when it's completed, then it's set as done. We see all those in a sequential, following a sequence has been done. So what is summary of this thing? What is summary of this epic? What should make this summary of this epic? I told you that last week, anything, you can implement anything. The summary of this epic.
Creating a dashboard.
Creating the what?
A
This
dashboard.
epic. Okay, I think I have it. So say this epic should complete login screen with username and password, all right? This epic,
Okay.
right? Should complete this. That's just a summary. That's what you just pick anything. So parents here, I think you change the UI here. Parents here. Okay, I've not created the parents. Okay, I've not created the epic here. I think that's what the parent means. So I'm going to explain to you company. That's what we have in front of us today. We're going to talk about components. So components, we talk about the component, but let's just create epic first. Then the description, we're going to leave this for now. I told you that. We'll discuss about description, how it going to look like, what actually that login page should do. Okay, that's what it be in the description page. So we're going to leave that description for now. So then we have fixed version. Okay, fixed version. I'm going to explain that fixed version to you, and let's take it one step at the other. Then we have priority. What priority? This epic, is it a high priority? Because if you look at this particular screen, that is the first thing we have to do. We can't start developing this, right? We can't start developing credit card dashboard. How are you going to say credit card dashboard? Is that possible for you to see a credit card dashboard?
No.
You can't see credit card dashboard until you're able to log in into the application. You can't see your profile pictures, your friends, notification, and all those things on your Facebook application, which is, for example, for social media application. You can't see all those things unless you're able to log in. So that things that the first one have to be our own priority. This is have to be the priority for us to develop this particular application. So this should be a very high priority or whatever is the highest priority, what they call it. But this is high priority for us to implement this because users are able to log into their page. That's the first thing they have to do to log into their page so they can check their account balances and everything. So team, you can invite your team members. Okay. You can say at Abraham or at Frank or anybody. You can invite your team. If anything, we have created our own team. Okay. So you want to create your team, you can create team here. Let's work on it. You say then team name of our team. You can say team A or team let's say team A. Okay, this can be the name of our team. Or you can say let me say QA team, right? Because our QA. It's our QA team. So on the this right here, they choose who should be in this team. Anybody can be, can call, invite anybody to be in this team. So you can add those names. Anybody can be in this team, can add any name here. Anybody can be in this team. So if anybody can join, anyone can join the team without approval, you can also check mark all those things. So you create a team. Okay. Put any name. You can add more people as possible. Okay. So that creates a team for us there. That's a QA team. People are the members of those teams. So you can add more people to this. Anyone can join for 3,000 mark. Then labels. If I told you about automations, I told you about manual testing, I told you about automation testing and all those stuff. So there are some certain people I told you when we are doing the STLT, the software testing lifecycle, the STLC, and all these things. I told you this is about the testing lifecycle. Okay. So and I told you about automations. For you to have for you to be an automation engineer, you need to know some basics of this Java programming language for you to automate this particular application. So there's a people in our team that does manual testing. Like in the QA members were like 6 or 7 or 8 QA members. So out of those 8 QA members, maybe 6 people or 4 people will be doing manual testing, while other people will do automation testing. So if this particular software we are building, this particular application we are building, we're trying to implement, okay? So there's some people in our team, there's key members in our team that are going to do automation of this particular application. They automate it to see how this will work fast, you know. So you are doing manual testing, checking without any technical implementation. So you are QA analysts, you have manual testers, all right? So there are other people in the team that will be doing automation of this particular application. So if this particular application needs automation, then you include it here. It needs automation. Okay, that's what this is all about. Labor. So labor is our automation, these automation scripts. It needs automation. Then attachment, the Scrum Master, I say the Scrum Master, sorry, the product owner will try to um, attach how the UI will look like. Okay, this is what we are building. This is how we, after all this Scrum meets, stakeholders meeting, and all those stuff. The product owner will do a kind of attachment and um, make it known to the team how this UI, this particular application, how do you want to implement, how it looks like. So in that area, he or she can upload the UI base, okay, of this application here. So that's what this is all about. You just upload it and see how is everyone should take a look at it. Everyone should take a look at it, then you upload it. And so in your team, you can able to see, you know, the way it looks like. So link issues. This epic is to related to what? You can link it to this. We have not created an epic anyway. So we want to link that. Well, that comes with the stories, user stories anyway, but we are still creating an epic right now, not creating any epic. So we still have to leave it the way it is. Issues related to what link, what epic this is going to, what stories this is linking. So we leave that for now. Let's just create the epic for now. Then assigning, are you assigning to yourself? Who are you assigning this to? This epic to? So are you assigning to yourself? You have to be the head of this epic, or this epic have to be assigned to this particular group, anybody or anyone in the team assigned to take head of this particular epic. So I can say right here, assign to myself. I can say assign to, okay, just me right here. So I say, so sprints, what sprint is it going to? But I'll do about that when we talk about this, very important anyway. But we'll talk about sprints. I know I told you about sprint in the last section ago. I talked about what sprints, okay? So what sprint is this particular epic is going to, okay? So we have not started creating those sprint right now, so we'll leave it for now. Then if you want to still add more issues, issues can be anything. You want to create another issue, so you can check mark this particular checkbox right here. If you want to see continue adding more issues, so for now, you just say create. Okay, you can see now everything that is being done is done by the product owner. Okay, product backlog. When you talked about sprint planning, first thing, product backlog, business, a team restructuring and capabilities, and also by business values. I told you that was the first three major steps, phases that is involved in sprint planning. Now, the product owner then pick all these things and said, okay, we are creating this epic. This is the first thing for us. We are creating this epic, and then these things have to be the first thing we have to do. We have to create a whole epic for credit cards, login. That's the name of this, the whole of this epic, to make sure that the client is able to log in. This epic is able to implement all username and password so that the user can able to log into this application. So that's the whole agenda for this particular epic, the credit card dashboard. Here, the credit card develop login module, the credit card login module, develop login module. Okay, so that's the whole agenda of this epic. All right. The summary is that user able to log in. This epic should complete with user able to log in with username and password. So the epic is being created. Okay. So when the epic is being pre-created, anything that's being created is done what the product owner going to do. Where does it put those epic? Where does it throw it into? If you still remember, anyone still remember? Now the product owner has created the epic. Okay. This is the epic right here. If I check mark this thing, you can see this epic. The epic should complete login screen with username and password. All right. So this is the epic. So what did I say the epic is? Epic user story is a large that cannot be delivered as defined with a single iteration, or is larger enough that cannot be split into smaller user stories. A very huge epic. So what is that user story? A user story is the smallest unit of work in Agile framework. The smallest unit of work. All these things we have on our board, they're nothing but user story. We pick this thing out of this. The user ID and password is one epic. All the text boxes, all these things, implementing all these things is under user stories. The footer links on this page is under user stories. The my account, if I drop down these things, is another user stories. And you see all these visual keyboards is other user stories. And the whole agenda of user story is that the purpose of user story is to articulate how a piece of work would deliver a particular value back to the customer. Because when I keep anything on this particular page makes sense to the user, that's how you make your user story. User stories are few sentences in simple language that outline the desired outcome. As I said that last week. User stories are often expressed in simple sentences structured as follows. As a person, okay, I'm the customer. As a person, what do I want to do? I want to log into that application so I can do what? I can check my account balances. As a person, I want to so that I can check my balance. So that's how you define the user story. And if a user story does not make sense, your Scrum Master will ask you to go add more to it so it can make sense. And you should have a very short sentences. User stories are often expressed in a simple sentences structure as well. Some people follow this, why some don't do it when it comes to industry. But in this class, in our own experiment, we should be able to follow how it's being done. Now, we have done how to create stories and epics in Jira. Okay, so this is how to create epics. All right, now stories, as I said, breaking down for all these things. So what are going to be our stories? Now, creating stories, now we want to break down all these things. These are all stories. We want to break down all these um, chunks of codes, chunks, all these things on the dashboard, UI based. One break it down is a story. So now, how do you create a story? Just here, go to this, as I told that story can be, any issue can be anything. Issue can be bug, issue can be tax, sub-taxes, issue can be um, epic, issue can be bug and all those stuff. So in Jira, issue can be anything. So right here, you want to create a story. It comes right here, see under the same project, we are done with epic. So you click here, that's the story we are creating. So we are seeing on to-do list, summary, what is the story we have to take, what is the first story we have to take from this particular dashboard. First thing is main thing is that is more priority for us is this. Okay, this is main. I can't just pick up these stories in the I can't pick up this any story from the footer links. It doesn't make sense. These are not right priority for customers right now. So what customer want to do is that customer able to log into your username and password, so you're able to check that account balance. So that is a very high priority for us to do. So first thing, once the product owner has created this epic, it throws it into the product backlog. Everything goes to a product backlog. We're not in the sprint backlog right now. We're not entering the sprint. We're not engaging in sprint right now. So we are still analyzing, grooming all these things, and so everything's still on. Anything it does, it throws all those things to the products backlog, not sprint backlog. Okay, so Epic now is in product backlog. So in Epic also user stories. Okay, user story that comes with that Epic. So this is the Epic developed login module. All right. So we are picking all these things, all the chunks. All right. First, we want to pick up the word, the username and the password, that's the user ID and password. So that's the under user story for us. So what we're going to do now, this will be the first epic we want to develop. So what we do, we say the summary of this thing is what we are doing for this user story is to do this. So the summary of this user story is to develop edit boxes, let's say edit box creation, okay? Or edit box creation in login page, all right? So that's the story for this epic. All right, so edit boxes, all this, so username and password, that's what we are trying to, that's the story we are trying to pick from one after the other. So parent, see, now you can see this parent is that the parent of the, I think they changed this UI, but I know that this parent is all to do with this epic. All right, so I think this is tied up, this user story is tied up to this parent is the epic. So this user story is tied up to this epic is going into, because this story is for this user story, is for this epic. So that's why before, when I've not created the epic, this drop down is not showing here. So it's asking what parent is this actually going to? Is going for this epic, developing login module, and this epic should complete login screen with user. So that's the epic the user story is aligned to. So components, I was speaking that to you. I think when we create story, the company can put up for now. So there's then description. So what is it description? What does this description of this epic of this user stories is all to do for the user? So description is being created by how this, what actually do you want to implement with this login? What login description do you have to do on this particular user story? That's what description is. How do you describe this description? So let's try to add some user story to this description and see how it is. So description will be as, let's say, this text box. What I mean by description is that describe this text box, these text boxes. You describe what actually does this text box want to do to the client. So you say as a, let's say as a client, as a client,
Accessibility.
I should be able to,
Access.
or okay, if I say accessible to access or enter my what, my email and password in the, let's say, login page. So that I can, sorry, that description. This description actually, as I said, this description should be from customer point of view. All right. So this description should be from the customer point of view. So the clients who are using your credit card online application, we are trying to this project, we are embarking either client or customer. So when you want to describe the usage of this user story, so what exactly this user story is doing here, that is, we should create edit boxes, right? So what is the point after we create edit boxes? Clients can enter username and password if you create, if they create, or if you create an edit boxes. So that's just the flow. So the way it was written on the syntax that is here, I told you we're going to follow this as a person. I want to so that I can do this. So the funny way it was written on the syntax, your description is like as a client, I should be able to enter my email and password in the login page so that I can be able to log in. This is a business value from client side. So description is business value from the what? From the client side. So that's how you do your description. So we're going to talk about one thing again is I will talk about that one later on, but let me just leave it for now. But that's what we call acceptance criteria. It's all to do with the business, the acceptance criteria. So I will leave that one for now. But this one is for the description, right? This one comes from the customer itself, what the customer have to do. So you have to describe it, how the what the customer needs. So as a client, I should be able to access or enter my email and password in the login page so that I can log in. So that is the description aspect of it. So we create description, then fixed version. I'll come to that. So this is a high priority for us. All right. So team is for you see we created a team, so you can see team A. The QA team is one handling this particular login, this UI. So the QA team, your team is handling this. So labels, it did automation scripts. Label also this we need automation. You can add it here. Also automation. All right. So how does it look like and relate to it and all those stuff like that. Then link issues. So which actually, okay, which stories this particular um which which epic these stories is actually linked to. Okay, because all these are all stories. Okay, breaking down all these are all stories, and this is a whole big epic for us. So that means this story logging logging into this username and password is one story, and this story belongs to this epic itself. This epic we're trying to implement. This is first features for us. Login module to login. Okay, this is a big epic. So that means in login module, that means all this is comprises all this is entails in all of them. Virtual keyboards, ensure the flow before logging in, URL, all those things, text boxes, all these things, the footer links, all these things belongs to this particular epic. So that means you have to tie this particular story to that epic. That's a link issues. What issue related issues to link to this? This also pull out from this. It's not okay. Otherwise, it's not really link issues to because I have to relate it to it's not block loan. I'm trying to link it to this. I have to pull out from this, but I don't know. But let's leave it this way and see if it's going on. Then assign the sprints. I don't want to link this sprint because it's going to this sprint anyway, but I don't want you guys to understand what sprint is. You go to this sprint. Okay, sprint one. So let's create an issue here. Let's create a story. So here we can have issue without story, issue, click here. This ought to go to the product backlog. I don't know why they change the UI. Because when you create a story, it ought to be in this product. You can see here, this is the product backlog here. So this issue we created on this epic ought to go to this product backlog. Everything have to be here. We're not in the sprint yet. Okay. By your right hand side, you can see the story you created. This is all the story you created. We create description as a client. We ask you to log into the access to be able to enter this, but I created the acceptance criteria. I'm going to explain to you acceptance criteria, what it is. Then assign to yourself, there is a reporter. There's no one I just assign to myself. Then sprints. What sprint is here? But you go into this first sprint, the credit card, the first sprint. Well, back on the first sprint, creating all these things. So all this thing going to the first sprint. Okay, sprint backlog. Okay, so team and is a high priority, then any comment you want to make, everything going to be here. So this is your story. Okay, so now um Then I told about components. We have created a story. First story is about edit boxes with creation. So we throw that edit box is being created will be in our product backlog. Okay. Epic, everything go on product backlog. We're outside the sprint yet. So what I want to tell to you today is about what I call the components. What are those components? Has anyone had any words component before? What are those components?
Or you mean like the tools for the Jira?
Yeah, it's true for Jira, but they simplify in their own terms, right? Yeah, what they mean by components, as in creating components. So what are these components? This is specific in Jira anyway, all right? So it's in Jira terms. So basically, we provide components to tell or to assign some team to read. Okay, like for example, there are 5 different teams working on this Jira. 5 different things working on this Jira. So, and you want to assign few specific story to one particular team. Like, no, I created a team right now. I said the QA team, right? Okay. Now, I want to assign a specific story. That story I just created, edit boxes, for instance. I want to assign it to this specific team. So that's what this component is. And you assign this few specific story to one particular team. So there could be one team, two team, like there could be team one, there could be team two, team three, and so forth. So let's say there are 3 agile teams working for one project. And when you create a user story, if you want to assign to that specific team, you can create teams as what they call as components. And you give the component label, all right? You give the component label to that user story to tell that which team that specific user story belongs to. So let me show you. Let's create a team. Look at this. You just come with this component. You said, so we just change the UI. This create component, not create a compass. You really change everything the way it was before. No, this is not to create. This is not way to create component.
So what's the difference between creating a compass component and just a regular component?
Creating compass component.
Yeah, what's the
So I've,
difference between a
I've
compass?
probably used this compass component. Are you talking about compass component and components?
Yeah.
No, this is a different thing. I've not used this. I've not compared with this compass component. But I think there is way create components here.
I see like the crate on top. I think that's it.
This one is for stories and epic and all of them.
Okay.
They will sure this is not. Well, that company just to assign a specific team to here. I think here should be create components. Okay. Yes, to create component. Then what is the name? If you want to see issue, you can create all this is issue. All these are issues. You can see all these are issues. Let me click here and see issues we created. Okay, editable corrections. These are epic. You can see the epic we created with the what's the UI that the plot owner want us to see the way it looks like. When we start developing, we start testing all those things. But those are doing manual testing. They can take a look at all those things. So if you want to see issues we created, you can come and click on issues and edit box separations. And this is epic. Epic can be anything. These issues and this also these user stories. And these are user stories. You want to create subtasks like different, maybe another person should handle this. You can create subtasks. You can attach what kind of thing you saw, any bug, anything. any attachments, the way the stories, the edit boxes should look like. Maybe it should be in the left-hand side, or it should be in, you know, some you can see some page, this particular edit box here, this one right here might be here, right? Or it can be here. Am I correct or wrong? Have you ever seen that before? The UI changes, right? So you can take a screenshot of it and look the way it looks like. All right, so you can take a screenshot of it. So this is what that particular attachment is like. The product I can attach it to, so you guys can see any comment, you can make any comments and everything. So this is issues, all about to do with issues. So coming to this component I told you about, coming to components, go back to products, go to component to assign a particular task to a particular team. You say create components. When you create a component, you can see name. You can see name, component name, can say QA. QA team, can say QA team 1. Then description, what's the description? Description can be, we can type in what the team is working on, okay? What are those team working on for this particular text box? You can say to do what is it? It's a login functionality, okay? You can say for login functionality, so able to test those if it's functioning, all right, with the login, username and password. So component leads, we're going to be a component leads. You can put your component lead here. Lead is optional if you want. You can name anybody. Then assign, you can assign it to yourself, or anybody can be assignee to your project lead, or assign it to your project lead. It can be assigned to yourself. So your lead, component lead was the person's name. So you say, so that's what component is all about. Okay. So these are issues as we read, any issues, raise those issues. So these are just what component is when it comes to your Jira tool. Okay. You want to assign it to a specific person, like what is your component lead and who is your project leads. But right now we don't have any options here. But when you see in your real time, okay, you will have a name to whom to assign it to. So now let's say that team 1, okay, team 1 is the team working on login functionality. All right. And by clicking ads, you can see this. Nobody's here. In the meantime, you're going to see all this thing. So by clicking save, you see everything will pop out here. So these are what this company is all about. So there's going to be any issues, anything, all these things will be on that particular team handling all those things. You can be able to walk to that team and see what they're actually. So going back to issues right now, you can see issues here. Going back to issues and open up your user story. Let's open up this our user stories. And then let's change a lot of things here. Tracking, parents. Let me get to these parents. It's because this story is tied up to that particular epic. So that's the parent here. So components. You can see here, you can see component none, right? Can you see my page? Can you see the screen? Frank, Abraham, anybody, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you can see component none. So now when I click on this component none, you can see that the plot now then assign it to this particular QA team. Your team is going to work on this login functionality. So QA team because we have created components. All right, we have created components and we assign our team. We're going to be a team lead, we're going to project lead and all those stuff like that. In a real world, you're going to see we're going to be a project lead. You do that in your real world, all right? So you're going to see when I was doing that, creating components, I didn't see any access to assign our who's going to be our project lead. But right now, we don't have any options here. But when you see in your real-time Jira, you will have a name to whom to assign it to. Okay, so let's say team one is a team working on login functionality, right? QA team one be working on this login functionality. They are going to test it if that particular user able to log in into username and password, able to land into that particular page and see the next feature, which you're going to do, right? See the next feature, this credit card dashboard. But this is what you guys are working on right now, right? So now, another one said is that when you come here, after we created a component and see everything, go to your issue, the edit boxes, all right? These user stories. You click on user story, you can see on this drop down, you can see everything right here. You can see all these things. It's a high priority. They're assigned to me. Laborers is an automation script. Is going to this first sprint we're about to embark on. All right, sprint, first sprint, QA team. That's the name of our team. It's a high priority. You can see the stories. I'm going to talk about the story pointer, very, very important. This is one of those interview questions. Estimate, I want to talk about estimates, all right? Tracking components. Okay, now we'll talk about components, right? Now, component, you can see the component. It say component is none.
Okay.
All right. So component is none. All right. So I will tell that this specific component to team, okay, and specific this component is going for team one. So that team one can speak this user story now to able to log in all those things. So you can see that component is none. When you click on this, you can see that the product owner, the business analyst, the product owner, it's not the business analyst, the product owner, he knows the product. The product owner will then do what? We then assign it to quality analyst team one. They're going to work on these functionalities, all right? This is assigned to these people. So this will achieve the things. We're going to spend a lot of time tracking all this, time tracking, use the format to this, okay, tracking all those things. Let me move this one for now. So now, QA team, I've created a component, and when you come in on this, your dashboard, we're going to see is assigned a product owner, the PO assigned it to you guys. You guys are going to work on this login function, test this particular function. That's this what component is in Jira. Now, fixed version. Can I talk about the fixed version, or let me talk about you guys to understand these things? There's one to now. Let me talk about these story points. I think that's very, very important to, or should go to fixed version or story pointer to view all these things. Let's find these stories too. Let me talk about the story pointer. So this guy, this is not a benchmark. All right, this is not a benchmark or the way it's being done or is specific that it must be these days. Okay, story points. Sometimes someone will ask you, what is your company story point? And this is most interview questions being asked. Who assigned the story points to your group? So in our QA group, we are in a let me say in your daily scrum meet, all right? They will say, okay, how long you will take one person? So it's not a benchmark. Some company use as 1 pointer, 2 pointer, 3 pointer, okay, to work on this particular storyline, to check this edit box, work on these edit boxes, all those things like that. So he said, okay, QA team, how many days or how many hours is going to take you to work? Some company take like 1 hour to be like 2 pointer. Some company might say 1 day is 3 pointer. They can say 1 day is 1 pointer. So it depends. It's not a benchmark how to estimate all these things. So this pointer tells you how long it's going to take to finish to test the particular module, right? So that's what pointer is. If you look at this one, it says story points. You have to give it a point. Let's say for a whole day, your company might say it's 2 points. For a whole day, your company may make it like 3-pointer for a whole day. So we estimate all these things is what for a whole day, let's take this take like 2 points. It takes a whole day to do all this, to create the edit boxes and test the edit boxes and all these things. The developer creates it while you, the QA, test it. So the company mark it as what? As 3-pointer. Okay. So how long it will take you for do this? The developers, they said, just say they won't take it every day. Okay, it takes like a few hours or to create these edit boxes. Now to the QA, how long it will take you to test it? It takes a few hours also to test it. So they do it as a, okay, since it's going to take a whole day to do these edit boxes, to check these edit boxes, it takes, we give it in a complete makes it 3-pointer. Some people might say 2-pointer, right? So a whole day might be as 2-pointer. So the product owner marks it as well 2 points. You can go be seeing all this in the real-time world when you go, they will give you all those things. You see, they give access to your Jira and all those things. You pick up stories and work in all those stories. You're going to see all this in real-time world. You see story points, you see all the story points. So we're giving this particular story to check these edit boxes. We're giving this particular story to be 2 points. So original estimate, maybe give it like 1 minute or 6 hours, depending we go on lunch or anything. I don't know. But I will just leave it that one for that one. You see, this one say 2 weeks estimates. You see, 2 weeks, 4 days, 6 days, 45 minutes. You see, so this sprint is going for 2 weeks. It's a 2 week sprint. Okay, it's going for a 2 weeks estimate. Okay, let me look for 2 weeks, 4 days, 6 hours, 45 minutes. That's way to edit that on. It's 2 weeks. All right. So this is a 2 week sprint. All right. No time login. So this is 2 weeks remaining. Okay. So it's start counting. So now fixed version. Let me explain this fixed version. Or should I go to release version or explain to fixed? Okay, let me quickly go to fixed version. I have to create this fixed version before I explain this fixed version to you, understand this what it is. But for now, I think I will leave it for today. And let me go to the one I want to explain to you what they call the release. So okay, let me go back to here. Okay, these are stories. We try to product owner is trying to define all these things. Okay, what is in the product backlog? Okay, so you can see it has an automation script. Automation guy will work with it. This is going to sprint one. QA team. This is the name of our team. Priority is a high priority. The stories will give you a story pointer because developer develops it and tester takes it, and it's going for 2 week sprint. All right. So components, these are components. I told you what component is, and we'll explain to you what fixed version is. But before the fixed version, I want to explain to you what, if you go back to our dashboard here, let's go back to our backlog. Go back to our backlog, you can see all this issue estimate 2 weeks of this. You see all this is being created. So if we go back to our backlog, you can see here, there's what we call release, all right? Release. I have those 2 minutes to end the class. Anyhow, if you have any question, are you following me, or do you have any doubts, anything?
Okay, sorry, I want to just ask. You said in the daily Scrum meet, the pointer tell us how long it takes to test a particular model, right?
Yeah, they're going to be a vote. Okay.
Okay.
They're going to be a vote within the Scrum team. Okay, they're going to be a vote. This one was said, "Oh, it will take me 2 days." No, it doesn't take a long time. So let's give it 2 pointers. So everybody, the Scrum Master is going to raise a flag. Okay, everybody's going to raise a flag in the screen. So this one say 2. So the majority do what? Carries the vote. Okay. This one said 4 people say it takes 2 days. This one says then 6 people say it takes only 1 day. So which people are going to carry the vote? Is the 6 people. So it's not the work of the product owner or the work of the Scrum Master to give the story points to that particular user story. So it's the team. Okay. All right. It's the team that decides So they're going to be a placard. Okay, they're going to raise a plaque. So it takes only 1 day. This one say, no, that's a lot of time because we have to say map this to database. We have to still do this. We have to still do that. So, okay, a vote. So majority carry the votes. So the plot owner will then give it 2 pointer. So you assign the story, pointer to that particular story. Any question? Have any question?
Good question for me.
All right. Then release. I want to quickly talk about just the release version. Also, 2 minutes to talk about the release, but I was completed by next week. Because next week we're going to finish everything about this and they'll start the sprint, that is P1, then down. That's done for that. So that's why I told you it's not mandatory, all this is mandatory, but it's recommended. You should know about all this being done in the industry. So creating a release version, let's create a version. You can see that release is that what particular date we expect to release this particular application. That's what the release version is. So by clicking release button, you can see that let's say you are going to release your product. All right. So you want to release this product in January, or you want to release this. So this is September. Okay, you want to release this product in September 26. Okay. We want to release this product by September 26. This is September 26. Okay, yeah. Or let's say September 27. Everyone, this is 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks of sprint.
Yeah.
Okay, so this make it 2 weeks, okay? So maybe this tomorrow is our meeting. We're having this scrum meeting on the 9th, and the goals here, this product will be released on the 27th. Okay, so let's say we are starting our sprint, our Monday, okay, and this is going to be release date, okay? It's going to be on the 27th. So that's what release is. So you want to release this product in September 26th, and you can name the release name. Maybe what's going to be the release name? Login release. It's about login, right? Just give a name. That's what you can say. Yeah, login release, right? So that's going to be your sprint, your release name. Okay. So your login release, right? So you're releasing this particular product. So you want to release this product in September 26. So, and this is September 9. Tomorrow is September 9. We're having a scrum meetings tomorrow morning. Okay, so you can name the release name as login release, and that is it. So that's what the release version is. So you can see the version name, release, the login release. You can see the start date is going to be on September 9 tomorrow, and the release date we expect that this login release, this functionality, this product, the developer develops it and we're going to test it. The QA team 1, we have QA team 2, but QA team 1 is assigned to this particular functionality to test this thing by the product owner. Okay, so you can give description, you can add description that make sure that this is, so we can add any description to this. Description can be anything, you add what you are trying to describe, that this particular epic can go into this particular release at that date. So I'm going to dive into more about it so you understand it. Then we start the sprint. I'll tell you what the phase version is. All right. So I'm going to tell you the phase version is, and then we will then talk more about all these things. Release date. So we're going to talk more about this and how it's been done. So if you go to your issues again, if you go to your issues, you go to your issues, your story, you can see right here, you can see fixed version is none, right? And if I click on it, you can see the create version and you can create this. So when we create it, we can see that that particular release version can be assigned to this particular, but I've not started creating right now. So when I click on it, you're going to see it on that particular page. And you're going to attach this particular story to that particular release, okay, to that particular version. But the other time is fast spent. All right. So tomorrow we start up next week and we able to dive into relief version and talk about adding discretion to this particular particular what here do we do this product backlog, the discretion table, the discretion we did here. Yeah, the discretion and the discretion, also the acceptance criteria I told you about. So we talk about what is the acceptance criteria is all about. But for now, I'll just still have to create the release version and the story point and all those stuff. So that's it. This is how much you can do for today. You have any question before it ends? All this is done by the product owner. He's not a duty anyway, but just for you to get a glimpse about how it's been done in industry. This is the management part of it, the stakeholders. This is not about technical, okay? So it's just recommended. It's not mandatory, but it's recommended. But so you come here and pick your story and start working on it. But you understand the terminologies, how it's been done in industry. So you understand how everything is being done. So you have a practical scenario how this is being done. So there's no two way about it. So you can be comfortable, when you go into your job. All right, is time spent, and this is how much you can do for today.
Thank you,
Have any
Stanley.
question?
Stanley, thank you so much. Thank
All
you so
right.
much. Okay.
All right, guys, have a
Thank
good
you.
weekend.
And you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.